we will see 246 strategy, which is the how you have to prepare yourself for when you are doing export business. What are the different things you have to look into in export business? And then what a little recap of the sessions we have done and how can we proceed with this journey. Further, what you can do with us and Consult Kripa with respect to your export business with us. So I'll wait for another few minutes, and if anyone else would like to ask questions, speak, please do.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. I put Bangladesh Rice Association in Google, and then I came across few of the website like bdtrade.org, something like that. So in that I found few associations also. So how to contact those association? Like directly we should call them, or how to get in touch with those organization?
Okay. Here you have to think in there. That is the whole point of RSM. Here you have to think yourself in their point of view. They do not know anything about you. So first thing, as I always say, if you can figure out someone who's in key role in these association, you can spot them in LinkedIn and give connection to them with their note saying like why you want to get connected with them. Because if you see, the Bangladesh is a trade association or Millers Association. So if it is Millers Association, they won't be interested. Want to answer? So is it as a trade association or Millers Association?
Ma'am, it's Importers Association, Importers and Exporters Association for different products. Like for garments, it is different. For rice, it is different, and each and everything it is different. So I tried to connect with few people in Bangladesh, because our distance from India to Bangladesh is also like it. We can
Where are
easily.
you located?
Presently, I'm in Indore, ma'am, but I can do business from Nagpur.
Okay. Yeah, you can do land transport, and also they have
Yeah,
opened underground cargo transport also with
yeah, that.
Bangladesh. Yes. Good evening, Rajesh sir. So, Mr. Santosh, would you like to speak or ask any question?
Yeah, hello, ma'am. Actually, it is really nice topics that you covered. It's really helpful. Actually, my question is actually I am now in Dubai. Actually, I am working in a company, and I am parallelly doing this merchant exporting. I registered a company in Coimbatore.
Oh,
So
nice.
parallelly, I just want to because in UAE and all we don't know how long we would stay. So I just want to do parallelly the exporting also. That is my actually is my passion because I love to become an entrepreneur from the beginning. So that's what and I have the LinkedIn profile of mine of personal this thing, and it have about 1500 connections are there, so I can link this company name in the same LinkedIn.
Yes, yes. You can in the LinkedIn profile. It's more important like what you want to achieve from LinkedIn. So if you are planning to just get connected with different professionals, then you can focus only your profile as a professional focusing on particular skill or role. But here you want to elevate your position as an exporter. Whichever current profile you have that profile, and add the product which you are doing as an export or which you are planning to get connected with importers or any particular market. You boost the your profile accordingly. So you just add that. So which are the products you have chosen, sir?
Actually, mainly agri products, textiles, and the organic products I'm focusing on.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, agro products, organic is there, but
Yeah.
organic certification is very hard. So when
Uh,
because we have you are in UAE, it's more important if you take up a product, will you be immediately sell it in that
mhm.
market? So you have to identify your where are you placed in UAE, sir? Dubai, you said?
It's in Dubai.
Okay. So what is your current profession?
Actually, I am in logistics basically. I am working for a company and logistics part, and also the letter of credits and all I am doing now. Mostly in export area only, export and import.
Okay, so you already have set of buyers connections there?
No, actually, I am making a list of vendors. I am attending the trade shows here and also in India, and I am creating a vendor list. Last year only I started. I am just collecting all this thing, and gradually I want to do.
Yes, I remember we have spoken couple of time years ago, I mean last year or
Yeah.
year
Yes.
before
Yes. Yes.
that.
Correct.
Yes. So here, if, instead of going for varied products,
Hmm.
yeah, you point out, make it very niche. Yes, next week we'll have a the 1 minute presentation of everyone's product, and we can see how we can connect each one's opportunity. So where do I get export rates of any product last year rates? Um, it this is like a very big question because export rate of any product last year's rate may not be useful for you this time and this because export rates keep on fluctuating and changing. There will not be any constant rates. Of course you can get a custom data, but if you are um, planning to export fixed rates depending upon the rates of last year, honestly it will not help you with. Yes, Mr. Raghav, you want to speak anything? Mr. Santosh, yes, Mr. Santosh, here is Mr. Raghav, interested in exporting to UAE and have some connections in UAE also. Please
Sure. Sure.
get in touch and have
Sure.
discussion.
Yeah. Sure. I will share my email ID and mobile number.
Yes, so both of you can have conversation. But
Yes.
any steps, any one of you are taking here, be cautious, be careful in dealing with it. No problem. That's okay. That's okay, Mr. Raghav. You post it to everyone. That's fine. So with this, these things only encourage networks like this. See, everyone here are not some random people. You are all very focused on exports, want to know exports and grow in exports, or you have taken efforts in different forms. That's the main reason why we have kept it as a group thing. So yes, it's already 6:08. I'll go into the session straight away. Okay. If anyone of you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. Yes, ma'am. Don't worry, Anjali ma'am. More, I think like that fear factor is still haunting on you. When you are taking a step forward, that fear is taking you psychologically 10 steps back. But don't worry. Every step you will have a support system. Be cautious, take preventive actions definitely. See, my intention for every one of you is not to make you billionaire overnight, but you have consistent business, regular exports. Once you achieve exports, you have orders regularly that you set as a role model for the people who want to enter into exports as a new export entrants, irrespective of their background. So we have Vishwanathan sir, who has experience from Tanzania and logistics. Mr. Santosh and Mr. Raghav have connections in UAE. So you don't have to exactly share your connections or anything. You can share your knowledge, you can share your input, and see how well we can grow this community all together, beneficial, and definitely we'll be very strict about the quality and we ensure to the maximum positive conversations and win-win situations. And definitely, I don't look for any sales commissions or any opportunity commissions you are doing. It's purely for your own benefits. How to get the current price of any product? Supplier of that product. So you have not yet fixed on any particular product, I think so. So it is always better to get the price from the current supplier. And next week we will have a exclusive session on costing and documentation. So any doubts with respect to costing, you can ask the expert. We'll have 2 days, Monday and Tuesday next week. So yeah. So welcome once again to our reverse sourcing mechanism, that way to go into exports abundance. The main focus of reverse sourcing mechanism or the method is to help you understand in the importer's point of view. That is removing your hat as an exporter and start thinking like an importer. That is where you will see the 12 steps, starting with the market, potential market, and the type of buyers there, and what type of inquiries, and what are the reasons that is influencing the demand of particular product in that market, government's rules and regulations, obstacles, what are the conditions favoring the import of certain product, different level of competitors in the international market, and then you go do the marketing, getting the visibility in the importer's eyes. Rather than you go and approach the importer, we put a plan in place that the importers start approaching you. And I'm really happy about a few of yours progress, whoever who have shared your progress. I'm really happy, because every single day you have been putting efforts and you are starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel. That is the main focus of this workshop, that help you to see the direction clearly and ensure yourself there is an opportunity for you and for your product when you have a very dedicated direction and plan in place. So the session one, we started with thinking like the buyer, and we saw about these 6 type of buyers. And in session 2, we saw about the knowledge, the knowing the language of the buyer, that inquiry type, what are the different parts in a buyer's inquiry, to so that you can identify whether it is a genuine buyer or not. Even after giving all those details, if a buyer is asking for money to materialize the order, then definitely it is a spam. So don't entertain such kind of buyers. Third is the place of buyer, where we have identified the business groups, trade associations, LinkedIn, even where yesterday we saw about the virtual exhibitions. So these are the place where your potential prospects or the buyers looking for a supplier. So it is better to place yourself in their eyesight, so that when you receive an export inquiry, that's more easier to materialize. Apart from the export inquiries, you might have different doubts with respect to process, certifications, customs regulations. But the main focus is when you have an opportunity in hand, and then you start working on the process, it is more easier for you. And you being in a network, or now you are in the network of us, definitely you will have help to get it from. And the for yesterday's session, we saw about how you should have a plan in place, how you should have what you do on regular basis to grow your positioning in front of the buyer's eyes. Any doubts here? So that is the recap. But we know that is not enough for you to be successful in exports, because there are different other areas in export and you need regular booster, because we might tend to lose track when while we are working on it, and we might get deviated, or sometimes some work seems to be more important than working on our business. So setting ourselves aside from other works and dedicating a particular work and making yourself accountable to yourself could be a challenging. That could be one of the main reasons some of you still wondering for years, how could you go forward in exports journey. We know you need a regular booster, and you need to keep yourself updated, because every single day there is a challenge, difference in notifications, and people find it very high. Even the customs regulations, not everyone are updated. Please kindly mute yourself. You can hear. Okay. So you have to regularly update yourself with the customs regulations, notifications, events happening. So most of all of these cannot be done by one person. Only if you have a group, where a trustworthy, trustable group of people giving you the authentic information, that is where you can grow yourself. So now we'll see what are the different areas in exports. This is where we talk about the 246 strategy of export business. If you you can have it as a checklist as well. If you are missing in any of these areas, that could be the reason why the success in your export is getting delayed. So what is this 246 strategy? This 246 strategy is essential for your export success. Any even experienced exporter will have a standard operating system in place, or even if they are doing business like family business, they are without their conscious, they have been following this. This gives a holistic approach to export business. You can plan, prepare, and execute your export orders. You can reduce the risk in the business, and you will be able to see that there is no missing link in your export process or business, and it help you to achieve a bird's eye view. Any questions, please put it in the chat box. So there are two parts of foundation for your export business. Where this is most important, knowledge and positioning. Most of the time people tend to spend time on trainings, different type of courses, but positioning is something very important. Positioning means it's not just marketing. In another word, it's just who knows you in the international market or the network. And at this current time of period, it is even simple and easier to build your position much faster than before. And there are four pillars for export business. That is, your export business should be built on these four. That is a product. You should have a product that you are very good at. Technically, you are very good at that product, or you are able to see the quality, or you have someone very reliable who can handle the sourcing for you. And then is the market. You should have a complete understanding of market, how that market exists, works, and what type of. That is where we have the full idea of this 5-day WhatsApp workshop, is that we focus more on market. So this is like more of understanding how buyers operate, then the competitiveness, why someone should buy from you, and a proper business model and revenue model, what kind of business you're going to have. When you have all these four in place, then there are 6 segments in export business. One is product selection. That is, even in product, the specifications vary. One single product can have different type of specifications and categories. And the market selection, different markets, different countries will have different type of market existence. Then the legal requirements, the license required from India, or the certifications or details required for in the foreign countries to have a very clear customs procedure, and then a marketing. Then you'll have a sales and execution part in exports. In exports, sales comes first and then the execution. So these are the 246 strategy in export business. So the basic is, if you have been very much focused on gathering knowledge, simultaneously you have to focus on building a position as well. Then once you have your building position, you have to be very clear about the product, market, competitiveness, that is why someone should buy from you, and a business model and a proper revenue model. Then comes the 6 process and segment. Once you have selected the product, you know how to identify your buyer. Now you have to start with the export process. That is where the most focus will go into 2 parts. That is marketing and legal requirements. Once that is in place, sales and execution becomes easier for you. Okay, where once we get into knowledge, we'll go a little deeper into what is this each part. Which screen are you in? Can everyone see knowledge? 3 types of knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So in exports, the knowledge is there are 3 levels of knowledge in exports. First is export process. This is where most people focus on. Even if when you go for 1-day seminars, training, or even diploma courses, they focus more on export process. This has not changed for over a period of years. And sadly, many people don't even talk about marketing. Even if they talk more of B2B portals or others, more into sales stuff, but not really on how to find buyers or qualify them as a good prospect for you. So that is a basic, very basic one. Next is the knowledge about the export trend, because In exports, the trend keeps upgrading. It's not changing, it keeps upgrading. Because if you see a product is moving very well in one market, it is very easier for other exporters to know. So you have to have that good kind of connections. When you're starting exports, the first main thing is you should be able to develop a network of suppliers. If you are a manufacturer, it is important that you are part of your manufacturing association. Of course, investment is required. Many times we are scared of investment because we confuse it with the expense. So the next thing is the first-hand field experience. That is a major challenge for many exporters, especially when people are trying to change from having a solid 9 to 5 jobs and they are moving to exports. They think you cannot think like you can get every knowledge from a trainer or from the internet. That is not possible, because your export success is based on the network you have or the first-hand experience you acquire. So that is most important in export business. Okay, so that you have a first-hand field experience. That means what real things are happening in the market. How do they do things in the market? What are the Juha, the activities that's happening in the market? It is important that you have to know this. How will you gather it? Keeping yourself constant touch with the manufacturers or suppliers. Of course, if you ask 10 questions, they will definitely not answer. But you have to build that confidence. You should have at least 4 to 5 suppliers and speak. I'm sure few manufacturers are here. How many times you would speak to another manufacturers of your same product? Almost on regular basis, because you don't want to miss anything in the market. Exactly, that's the case in exports also. Definitely people will not share every details, but it is important that you show a genuine, be genuine, and don't show a threatened kind of behavior. So this is the knowledge. When we say as positioning, there are 4 ways you can position yourself in export market. Why that is the answer you are giving them, why they have to deal with you or do the business with you. When we see most of the exporters website, the first line we see is we are leading manufacturers or leading exporters of so many products. That itself is not right, because if you are a leading exporter, the prices, the in many cases there will be new exporter, but they use these words: leading exporter, leading manufacturer, doing so many products. Don't do it. Fix on one positioning, why someone should buy from you, whether it is a competitive pricing or you are doing value addition, some particular specification only you can provide, or you have a very good after sales service. Or you have to, here is the place you have to showcase your knowledge. Or is it certifications you have that you other exporters lack, or you have invested good amount of certifications? Or is it a well developed network or supply chain? That means you have some tie-ups with technology providers, or you have well established supply chain that you can ensure timely delivery to your buyer. So based on four of these, it can be combination of 2, 3, or 4, or even one. That is your USP in the international market that you have to focus on. At that time, you will attract that type of buyers. So these are the 2 main foundation of your export business. Then when we come to the 4 pillars of exports, the first one is the product. So the main struggle for many people is that choosing the right product. Uh, because you have not really found out how your network is, you have not really understood what is your passion or what is your strength. That is where you have to start with. If you find it very difficult to fix on a product, you can fix on a market. There are 2 approaches. We call it as product based approach or market based approach. If you are product based approach, it is vital that you have to think of your investing capacity or procuring capacity, whether you can at least you have trustworthy suppliers who can give either credits, or you can invest some money and get the product. When it is a market based approach, which type of people you know in that market who can reply back to you with, if there is, are they well connected with the buyers and business people in that market or in that country. So based on their network, based on your connections with that market, you can choose a product. So you have to understand the product sourcing capacity, how much you can source, if it is only 1 container, 2 container, or 10 or 100. The quality of the product, quality doesn't mean best quality, it means the quality required for that market and for that buyer. And you have to understand the complete product supply chain. One example, ginger powder. Ginger powder is very famous to be exported from India. But only there are two months in a year, that is a ginger harvesting season. So most of the ginger is produced in Kerala, but processed in Gujarat, exported by the people from Chennai. Their marketing office will be in Chennai. See the supply chain, because when Gujarat started giving incentives for manufacturing units, these units got established there, and it is very easy to get all the approvals when it happened. And the marketing people are mostly from Chennai. Then you have to know the export promotion council season of the product, how it sells in the international market. And the sector developments, what are the developments that is happening in that particular sector, whether autumn. Please, if anyone is, please stop drawing on the screen. So the next one is the market. When you take up a market, instead of randomly start looking for a buyer, you have to understand the geographical knowledge of that market, which are the nearby ports, whether that market has good connectivity with nearby markets, or whether they have some trade agreements with different countries. What are the primary, secondary, tertiary sectors of that market? What is actually the economic activities? These details are very easy to get from the internet. So you have to understand where the actual economy of that market or country is based on, so that you can export accordingly. Then you have to know the ministry or department that handles international trade. Now almost every government have very good websites with good information. Of course, you cannot straight away see the importers details, but the information will help you link with one or the other, and eventually you will be able to find out the right person and the events that are happening in that market, or events that happen with respect to that particular product, and also the embassies. Embassies will not help much, but there will be sometimes useful links. And yes, writing to these embassies, you will get some list of buyers details, but of course they wouldn't reply back. But you know what to do once you have details of someone you think is potentially or ideally a buyer in that market. Then comes the competitiveness. So before understanding your own competitiveness, there are 3 levels of competition in international market. One is other countries exporting your own product. Whatever product you are dealing with, other country can also export. This is the major panicking factor for Indians, because Indians think that any product that India produces, China can also manufacture. So we see them as our potential competitor, but the buying type of people could variably different from the people importing from China, people importing from India. And the other exporters from our country, here also we think that the next door neighbor is our competitor. He doesn't have to be, because you have to fix whether the product you can supply is much better than him, or the quantity wise or price wise. And then the other suppliers in the target market, because the buyer has a choice to buy from you or from his local supply. These importers can be potentially your buyers also, but the other way they can also be competitors for you, because that is where they always think of giving the best rates to their end customers, whether you will be able to do it in that market. So here comes the business model. That is the 4th thing, which we have already spoken in day 1. Whether you are looking for, most of the cases we look for direct selling, we want some buyer and buy, and we want to get it done with it. But understanding what type of buyer there will help you to do accordingly. So if it is, well, there are so many models. Even franchising is a business model in international market, but of course you should have a very promising revenue model. That is, if someone buy the product from you, you have a set operation, standard operating procedures that they don't have to think about anything. Just they have to pay some fee to you and be successful in their market. If you can develop something like that, that is a very good market. And distributorship, that works very well for the brands or the new products which you are producing. Joint venture and partnerships are very famous at the moment. Many countries are looking for partnerships with foreign manufacturers, technology providers, where we use this global business opportunities to identify such kind of opportunities, because many look for manufacturing contractors, contract supplies, and then the warehousing and e-commerce. Importers prefer manufacturers rather than merchant. Not really, sir. See, if an importer needs different type of product, manufacturers can give. Of course, in your point of view, manufacturers can give a very good rate, but they can sell only their product. But if the importer is looking for combination of product, they also look for merchant importers. Say for example, the people who are retail owners, they cannot rely on one manufacturer. They want someone, rather they would like to buy from a merchant exporter. And general pharma is a very good example. Stationery items are very good example. They cannot depend on one brand and one manufacturer, because their MOQ will be really, really high. So they have to find out some other people who can supply them, or sometimes they would like to have their own sourcing partners in India. So we have done with the four pillars of export business. Okay, I'll get it to the question after, and then go into the 6 segments. Madam, how do we approach the companies with whom we wish join hands in terms of technology? Like I wish to join hands with a company in UK in terms of their technology. So you have a manufacturing unit. What kind of technology transfer do you have to? This is like a win-win situation. So if you are going to take up some technology tie-up with them, what do you offer in terms? Whether you're offering a skilled labors here, or you are ready to give some share of your marketing and sales, that's the term mainly. What you are bringing on table, that is what the people are more interested in. So with that technology, how do you look to increase your sales? What is the plan with the technology? So if you are clear in that, people also will have their terms. You can look into some models of technology transfer in the global business opportunities. How do we approach them directly? There are many medias. You can approach them directly, but then here the point, the matter of your credibility, you have to prove. There are also different consultancies which provide such kind of technology transfer. They charge anywhere from 3% to 15%. It is absolutely your negotiating skill to bring it down. There are, and EEN is very good. When you are looking for European technology transfer, it is better you go through EEN. Though it takes little time, the credibility is higher and much of your work is taken care. And you can also have tie-ups like per deals tie-ups with these people who are already existing in this area. If you, yeah, welcome, sir. So any other question? Okay. So when we get into the product, the process, export process, the first one is product selection. How do you select a product? That is the main problem, right? We start looking for the product, some product which get exported from India. Then we try to source that product or find buyers, like it is efforts all over the place. But when you select a product, you have to start from the sector. What do I mean by sector? There are 97 sectors in India. So one of those sector you have to first fix depending upon your experience. And then you have to go, let's take an example. Let's say groundnut. yeah, the product groundnut. The sector it comes under is the oil seeds. So that is the sector. When it is a commodity group, it comes under the groundnuts or peanuts. Then product classification, there is a shelled groundnuts and in-shell groundnuts. And when you go to the specification, there are different type of specification, Java, bold, count, weight, differs. And end use, the peanuts can be used for butter, oil, straight away you can take it as a food or candies. It can be used as different retail supply. So what is the usage? Depending upon that, you have to decide the packaging and the certification required, and then goes the cost. So this is how you have to select, fix on a product and work on product selection. So when you are thinking of market selection, first you have to think that is there a potential to grow in that market? Is that market regularly growing, or that which you can see from the trade map itself? And then you have to see the what type of buyers, which we have seen almost like every day and in deep. When you're looking at a market, it is very much important the import duty that the buyer, because the buyers are more likely to buy only if there is no tariff, if or very less tariff comparatively. Then comes the non-tariff measures like is it a SPS, TBT, and then the trade agreement, whether our country has some kind of agreement with that country so that the buyer will get benefited. So this comes under the market selection. Then the legal requirements. So the legal requirements, usually this is where people usually focus in one day trainings. PTA means preferential trade agreement. Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. Yes, preferential trade agreement. Usually when a country is negotiating for free trade agreement, they don't straight away go for free trade agreement. They will go for phased out free trade agreement, which is called preferential trade agreement. They will have like certain products. There will be 2 years time for them to go into complete import or zero import duty. Certain product they will consider immediately because there will be high demand or no favorable conditions for that country to produce or manufacture. So legal requirement, IEC is something very basic. And then the payment, the certifications, when you are a manufacturing unit, certifications are very much important. Merchant exporters, if you have a very good manufacturers, you can use their certifications, and you can take up marketing rights if you think that exporter might also go for, the manufacturer will also go for exporting. Incoterms, right now we are using Incoterms 2020. Previously it was Incoterms 2010. There are only one change with respect to FAS. And then the payment terms, then you have to know about the ECGC, that is the Insurance Credit Guarantee, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. And the Export Inspection Council, they will give different certifications like these FTA, Certificate of Origin, many certificates you can get from Export Inspection Council. And then the EPCs, that is Export Promotion Councils, or commodity boards or IFIO. This you have to, you can go for legal recommends once you are clear with the opportunity, and with your, after taking marketing efforts, you can go for your legal work requirements. In marketing, yes, there are two way forward with exports right now, that is digital marketing. When I say digital marketing, exports, as we focus more on B2B front, LinkedIn is more than enough. And networking, we have seen about the trade fairs, exhibitions. Identifying the right person is the most important work, and getting them in your closer network is the second work, and helping them to familiarize themselves with your product, your dealings, the way you deal with the people. And then the ones in sales, you will get the purchase order, and then you'll go for sales agreement. There will be payment method and delivery details, how you are going to deliver it, and time of execution, when the person can get the product delivered. So these are all on the sales part, still that is verbal. So once, or in the paper, and once you get into the execution, you start with the procurement, packaging, then you will deliver it to the port. with a CHA, or if you have someone to take care of your shipping activities, then you do the documentation, you will file returns, all that part comes, and then the after sale service if it is anything required for your product. So this is the 2-4-6 strategy when it comes to export business. Any questions?
Ma'am, I had a question regarding the certifications.
Yes.
But there are a lot of certifications required in every field of work. But then so many certifications is not, India doesn't need that much if you are not exporting too much, I think, right?
Yes, ma'am. So certification, ma'am, when we are starting with certifications, it's not mandatory. You immediately get certification and go for exports. The first thing is you identify the type of buyers and speak with them. Many of the certifications are required only if the projects have some tie-ups with very developed countries, or if it is mandatory with respect to their clients. So the certifications are needed only after you have solid orders in place and where your product is going to be landed. So when I was telling about 2 days before, we were facilitating a buyer-seller meet with our client. That buyer is actually placed in, he is in Germany. So everyone know Germany is one country which has certification for everything. But the product is landing up in Brazil. So our client, whatever certifications he has with respect to India's supply, it's more than enough. So sometimes these people will be located in different countries and the product will be landing in different markets. So ideally the certification is required first thing to get the customs cleared. And second, it acts as their, if they are building something high on your product, then they need the certification.
Yeah, true, ma'am. I think so.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Please.
Okay, when I see for my products, they ask for halal certificate and health certificate. What is meant by health certificate here for our company or the employees who work in our company or who? I didn't understand the meaning of
Which
health.
market, ma'am?
Qatar.
Okay. So usually the health certificate, if your product has been certified from SGS or any lab report, that's fine. Usually there will be certain allergies they will have for products. So they have to mention that also, what levels they are looking for. What is, if you usually contact SGS for the food products, the certificates which they give is more than enough. So they ideally want whether your product is safe for them to consume.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, there are tools to find buyers like TMGWBA. Okay, so did you check our our 60 days challenge course as well, sir? Yes, halal is required only if you are exporting to Muslim countries. TM means trade map, GW means government websites. BA is what I put, I don't remember BAs. And SMEs, again, exhibitions, trade fairs. These are the different tools to find buyers, which almost you would have we have seen two here. Only trade map I have not shown because you have access to EXIM A to Z. I have not touched on trade map. But the good news is, any questions, or would you like to know what happens after this? Welcome, sir. Yeah?
What is
Okay.
that? A to Z. What is that?
EXIM A to Z, that you would have got access to an online course when you have become part of this 5 days workshop. So that where it covers, it's a basic course where I would have covered the process from A to Z in export business. RCMC membership means not only FIO, sir, any export promotion council. It is a registration cum membership certificate. That is the export promotion council give us a token of your registration with their organization, so that you can use it for availing the benefits from the government. And also, if you are participating in any trade fairs, you'll get some benefits. It will be either subsidized hall cost, or it will be one-time airfare. So that is what RCMC is used for, and RCMC is for any export promotion council. Yes. So what happens after this? So technically, you are all graduated from reverse sourcing method. That is Monday or Tuesday. You will be moved from the group RCMC to RSM group to RSM graduates group, where people from our previous batches are also there. The use of that is all these sessions will be uploaded in our online course portal, and you will have the access with that. But for a step further to help you in your journey in exports, we have our own offer for you exclusively for this group, our workshop people. That is, so you can get access to our online course. That is the next one, very advanced or most updated export course, which covers 8 modules there, where one is like finding buyers using those tools. It starts from product sourcing, market, everything with task. Again, there will be task in every sessions, and there will be practically, I would have shown there, it is a recorded course. In CK membership, you will get a chance to exhibit your product. That is, say, for example, next week, we are inviting an expert in costing and documentation. So he's already an exporter to Southeast Asia market in retail sector. The product which is suitable for you, one of you will get a chance to exhibit, to talk about your product, 5-minute slot during that session. So that is like, we are recommending that expertise, that this is a reliable supplier from as a part of CK. Then a vendor opportunity with Consult Kripa, that is whenever we get an inquiry for any particular product, that will be routed to you in particular. You will get access to every webinars free of cost, but whereas others will be paying for that webinars, which cost at least minimum 199 for those single webinar. We will facilitate such webinars like 3 to 4 in a month. And there will be a weekly review meeting. If you are becoming a CK member today, tomorrow morning, every Saturday morning, 9:30 to 10:30, there will be a review meeting where I will not take any class. Everyone will I will give time for every single one of you to go through your LinkedIn profile or marketing, product selection, your selection with the suppliers, even the technology partners who we are checking, those details, your SOPs, your business models, revenue models. And before coming to next review meeting, you will have work to do on it. And I'll also give clear instruction what work you have to do on that. And you will be part of our Consult Kripa membership group. There are members there who are all already committed to be exporters. You will also get regular updates on government policies and schemes. Apart from that, if say for example you are looking for a logistic person, or you are looking for someone for certifications, or any person you are looking for in your place, because I'm part of BNI, we have access to 35,000 business owners all of India alone. Apart from that, we have networks in other 70 countries, which are all, I don't personally have network in 70 countries. As a part of BNI member, I have open access to these members in those countries. So if you need any conditions, anyone to be introduced, I will introduce you from that group. So these are the things you'll get as a benefit of being CK membership. Do you want to know how much is it to be part of CK and CK membership? Yes. So this is a 3-month membership fee. Of course, if I put everything very separate, our online course itself, we charge minimum 5,000 rupees, and the webinar goes, a single webinar is 200 rupees. If I calculate all that, that's totally different, but I'm ready to give everything for free. But I want to charge only the commitment fee. That commitment fee is for 3 months, it is 999.
Hey, ఏమన్నా అయిందంటే ఏం లేదు.
Yeah, wow, that is so nice. I'm so happy to hear that excitement. Yes, it is 999 only. For all this, you will be almost like seeing my face every 3 days once, every 2 days once. And the main thing to get most benefit out of this membership is being very active. If you ask more questions, if you ask more doubts, if you demand so much of details, yes, that is where you're using it. It is just the commitment fee I'm charging, and that is for 3 months membership. So after 3 months, it's completely your choice that you can renew it or you don't want to renew it. But these are the, so the difference between others and we are welcoming you to our Consult Kripa family. So yes, so the link is, I'll share the link in the chat box. If you want to become, what happens as soon as you become a member, immediate instant access to, oh, sorry, yeah. Okay, instant access to our, do you help business develop exports, right? Yes, that is the main focus. Every one of you have to do export, and we know you need personal input, personal review. You need direct inputs and everything. That is the part of it. Yes, I'll share it in RSM group as well, and I'm going to share it here as well. As soon as you are opting for the RSM, the CK membership, you will get access to our 8 weeks module, that 8 modules online course called Export Success Roadmap. That is how to be successful in exports in 8 weeks. And next, yeah. Any questions?
Time of that webinar?
Yes, you will get that webinar. And next week we will be Ledu. What is Ledu? What does it mean? I don't understand. Or Laddu.
The timing of the webinar?
Timing of the webinar, we will post it regularly on the group. You will also get the recording as well whenever the webinar is recorded. The costing and documentation is going to be like more of a training. So it will be from 7 to 8:30, Monday and Tuesday next week. And every week you will have an expert talking to you. Yes, so e-commerce also we will invite. I've spoken to one person. He is only available on the 3rd week of August, but every week we have one or the other experts to come and speak to us. So yes, e-commerce will be covered. 62, I don't understand. After next any other program, yes, that is the thing. Once you become a member, you'll get immediate access to that Export Success Roadmap course. And tomorrow you will have first review meeting, and that in review meeting, no classes will be handled. So every single one of you present in the review, I'll personally give 5 to 10 minutes for every one of you to go through work on your export efforts. And then every week, Monday or Tuesday, you will have a special webinars or workshops on special topics. It will not be common topics. It will be like e-commerce, costing and documentation, virtual exhibition, how Japan market, different markets work. We will be inviting a speaker from Japanese market, experience in Japanese market, experience in Belgium, South Africa. These are the 3 confirmed: Japanese, South Africa, Belgium, Ghana, Cambodia. So these are the 5 markets. We will be putting them in every week. So I don't work on Sundays. Sorry, Sundays, I'm not available to the world.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Yeah, so far the class was fantastic. It's a new dimension to the whatever knowledge we had. Thank you very much for your effort. No, ma'am, I have one doubt. Like so far, you have spoken about products, not services. We have discussed through and through of
Products.
products, right?
Yes, sir.
No, supposing services. I have a question on services, like providing manpower to some countries. It could be skilled or semi-skilled. And the second one is like documentation. Suppose many countries, I saw the requirement for ISO documentation. Now, to find out those things, how do we know? How can I make it out?
So, okay, usually service part we don't cover because in service, it's all about you just very clear terms between you and the client. So the more important thing is finding the right vendor or supplier or the contractor or the service person who's requesting for service in the other market. So usually they will have their own standard MOUs, their own standard NDAs. So when you are finding the right person, it's up to you whether you can deliver what they're asking for, because it's more of deliverables. It's more of execution of those parts.
Yeah, other than European network in that, what do you call that, FAU website, is there any other medium we can find out the request of these manpower requirements and services like ISO documentation, other things?
Not really, sir, because these service-oriented people are. LinkedIn is something quite famously used for service exports as far as India is concerned. Apart from that, there are websites like freelancing websites, Flixing It websites. They have projects from overseas.
Can you tell me the website's name?
Yes, I'll put it in the chat box. Suresh sir, yes, it is for 3 months. It's the module is access you'll have forever. Access, that is a digital access, that is not for just 3 months. That is as long as the course is existing on the platform, you will have ever. Only for the other review, special meetings, that you won't get access. There are so many freelancing websites. They do share. So these are some of these websites where these kind of projects are usually. This is not big level projects. It's very budget oriented.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, sir. So yeah, so I'm looking to welcome many of you into our Consult Kirba family. Well, it's totally your choice whether you want to go for the membership or not. So at this, any doubts with regards to reverse sourcing, you can put it in the reverse sourcing graduate group. And with regards to any further process in exports, I'll see you tomorrow in the review meeting. Okay, that's the time. Yeah.
Sorry. The last one is fever, FIV.
Fiverr, sir. So I have a last final request. May I ask every one of you to turn your 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., sir. Saturday's mornings 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. So may I request every one of you turn your video off so that we can take a graduation picture. That's so nice. It is okay whichever place you are in. Yeah, I'm still waiting for some more. So happy to meet you all. Thank you for traveling with us for the past 5 days, including today, 5 days. I hope we have added some value to your efforts. This is the point where we usually get emotional.
I'm not going to anywhere. I'm in Kriba Consulting family.
Wow, yay, welcome.
I'm really not going to anywhere. I am now a family member of Kriba Consultant.
Oh, that's that trust, and that makes us more active in what we are doing. So I'm going to take a picture with my screenshot.
And I really enjoy your class. I learned everything, every basic thing in your class. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. That makes our day. Thank you so much. I will also share this photo in our group. So cheese again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day ahead, and we'll share the recording. Looking forward to having you in review meetings. All the best. Let's rock the world with Indian product.
Thank you, Ali. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
You are the best teacher ever.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
A lot of information into a short time.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am.
It was a pleasure and we really learned a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. So yes, feel free to share your feedback, and you will get access to the past 4 days plus today's video access as an complete collection. And I'll also share about upcoming batches. If you feel like anyone recommending them to come to our batches, we'll be happy to serve them as well.
Madam, I have a small query from you. It's the
Sir,
end of the session.
yes, sir.
Basically, I think yesterday you've been telling us that you have been some leads from Nigerian market. In factly, I have been there for almost 3 years in Nigeria during some of my service appointments. I would like to. I have a very good knowledge of that market. As you said, that African people are not. I mean,
Sir, your audio is muted. 1 minute.
we cannot. Our banks are not accepting. Therefore, it's not possible for us to connect with them with the LC. So therefore, we have to have a warehousing model, as you said rightly. Now, as today you said that you are going to, discuss business model with the Japan, South Africa, Ghana, and Cambodia, wherein Nigeria is no more.
Sorry, sir.
That country is not safe for doing business, or some other reason.
Okay, so these countries are actually countries with very good potential. The challenge is tapping into the right network, knowing that right person, because their exports are increasing to these markets. So the people who we are going to bring, are the people who will help us to understand what are the pros and cons of the market, and most importantly, how we have to be cautious, in what terms we have to speak with them, and how to identify that trust and reliable group of people in that market. What is the upcoming latest development in that markets? So it's more of giving you, as you have said, you have very good experience with Nigeria. See here, we have people from Tanzania, Nigeria, UAE. You can also share your experience with that market to the group. We will be able to tap into that opportunity gap and identify and fill that gap.
Let me just let me know the group that they are the risk involved in Nigeria is first thing. Most of the people cannot be trusted there. Secondly, when you transfer any material, means you do business with the Nigerian guys, most of them are not very trustworthy, and therefore you have to have your own person there to handle warehouse. You can have a person to ensure that local content policy is maintained, because none of the other country people can do business. Therefore, you can have a small shareholding with those local people. But otherwise, what we need to do, we have to have a warehouse there and lot of setup. I mean, you have to export from here, you have to manage there, you have to manage here. So therefore, it is important for all of us, if we don't want to do business, as you rightly said, African market is hungry market, wherein we have a lot of potential to export, and the profit margin extremely high. One
Yes.
small thing can be 3 times. Okay, I've been
So you have turned to,
there, a lot of potential, but then I think if you have some way out, means sometimes you have some experts in addition to like my experience, how we can deal with them, basically fund, transactions and all that is important. And then I have the links, but I don't believe on them so much, because most of the people say transfer goods and then we'll see and all that. That is not the way we should work.
Don't
And
worry,
one
sir.
more thing I would like
Yeah.
to have idea from you, like international purchase orders, like documentation part you said, how to make, and what is the way, I know what is the way we should sample paper you can mail on WhatsApp. So all those things will be helpful to us. Thank you very much. I've been very silent in your classes, but I found that I'm having some reasonable knowledge, not too much knowledge. So I was just a quiet listener, but definitely it was a helpful class, and I would like to be a member of your group.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So this is what we are planning. Yes.
Hello, Malesh. Can we
Yes.
get the PPTs of these presentations?
Yes.
Can you share to us, or can you forward by email?
Sir, PPTs, more than PPTs, you'll get that video recording, sir, because
Video record.
yeah, video recording is more, because there you will have both PPT and the input on these.
Okay, that will be available, right? Anytime, or it will be deleted?
No, it will not be deleted. No.
Okay. Because we want to refer, go back and refer something. I just want to know. That's why.
Definitely, you can do it. Thank you so much for staying this longer. It meant really great to me, and I'm so happy reading all your comments. And thank you for taking part in these sessions. Have a wonderful weekend ahead. Hopefully, I would meet so many of you in future sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.